Okay, welcome to part two. We had some technical difficulties. It's not looking great right now, so it's showing bandwidth not the best here. So I don't know if we're going to be able to continue doing it. We'll do the best we can, and if it gets worse, then we will have to call it a day, and we'll just have to retry it later maybe, or tomorrow. But right now, the bandwidth is not looking great, so I'm a little bit concerned. So we'll see how it all goes. Let me know what you think as far as it looks. I can see the bandwidth is not 100%. So, and Cyberpunk will run smoothly, 3050, I'm not sure. We're going to have to see. Okay, so 23 of you back for part two here. I don't know if it's going to be lagging. We're going to find out. Let's just get right to it. So I reran the Geekbench test here. You can see it here, 9269. And for those joining us late, we have the Slim Pro 7 or the Yoga Pro 7 here for 2023. And this has the Ryzen 7 processor, Ryzen 7735HS, I believe. Anyway, we can take a look at the specs here for those joining us late. And again, apologies for the technical difficulties. Gamer Boy, stop asking about that. Okay, how could I know if I haven't tested it? So please don't do that. We're having a lot of technical difficulties right now, so bear with us. All right, so these are the specs. So for those wondering, let's take off the music. Price $1,199.99. 14.5-inch display. Ryzen 7 7735HS. NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3050. Okay, so 73 watt-hour battery. For those wondering, again, if there's a link in the description below for those that want to get it at Best Buys, we have 27 of you. The Best Buy SKU, again, has it at $1199.99, and you can pick one up there. So just something if you're interested in, and here it is. I'll show you right here. And again, 90 hertz refresh rate is nice to have here. Nice to have that Ryzen 7 7735HS, but I think it's a rebranded 6000 base system. For Phoenix, of course, you're looking at later this year, so I don't think we're ready for that yet, or they're not ready, AMD. Got a few drops, but it's stabilizing vaporizer, boy. Okay, so there you go. I can only do the best I can, right? So for some reason, the bandwidth is not cooperating, and that's the issue we're having right now. Good to see everybody. All right, let's get back into our groove here. Hopefully it'll maintain okay. We'll see. It may give you a little, I'm not seeing great bandwidth. So there you go. All right. So just a quick overview. Here it is in the Storm Gray. You can see it here. It has the smile-shaped keys. I'm connected to my dock. Here's the touch screen. We got our first results, 1971. This is my second run at this, 1971 on the single core, and you're looking at 9269 on the multi-core. So let me put myself down there. Let's keep going. Part two underway. So let's do the OpenCL test. Let's do the GPU compute test, okay? This will test the RTX 3050. So, and I'm sure you'll let me know if there's any issues with the stuttering. So it's not great bandwidth. I can tell you that right off the bat. And if it continues to go bad, I don't think we're going to continue on. I'll just have to do a recorded video for you guys. Okay, I appreciate those coming back. I know I had close to 80 of you. Now we're down to 37. Most of you got fed up, I'm sure. So don't blame you. It's part of the live streaming here on YouTube. There's some issues I'm having here. I don't know if it's my internet or theirs. It's settled down, but not great. I'm looking at the bandwidth right now, but it seems I'm not streaming on Twitter as a result, so maybe that's helping my stream here. So we'll see. So 58,268. Let me take a screenshot. Okay, now let's go to load in let me go to my downloads here. Let's do the Cinebench R15, which is a test. We'll test both the CPU and the GPU as we get that unpacked here, and let's get that loaded in. And bandwidth seems to be okay. So, all right, we're okay momentarily, but I'm not counting on anything being great. And if Gamer Boy, do not continue on that path. Keep asking me about Cyberpunk 2077. All right. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so that's running that. We're going to take a look at the camera in a little bit as well. We're going to let you know that it has 16 gigabytes of RAM. It is soldered in. running in dual channel mode, but there is an upgradable SSD. It's 512 gigabytes. We looked at it in part 1 that had the Hynix on it. This is now part 2. We'll take a look at the others. I see there's already an update that I'm going to probably have to install as well. So we'll see. I appreciate that, Vaporizer Bobby. All right, so let that load in. Okay. And hopefully we'll get a good result here. All right, good to see everybody. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I did upload a video. I did the Asus ZenBook 14X OLED. There, I do have another one. If you weren't here on the first part of the stream that we had difficulties on, I did my first video on that, and it's doing well. I think we got over 10,000 views in about a day or so. Pretty good. And I do have my full review on that coming. I got the Core i7-9530 Dell XPS 15 into the studio. We'll compare the i7 rather, and the i9. So that will be a good comparison video. That's coming. And I also got some stuff from MSI, really good stuff actually. So we'll talk about that next week. I have more Asus ZenBooks coming next week. In fact, those who want something beyond the 8 gigabytes, we will have a one, I think, with 32, if I'm not mistaken, and a discrete GPU option. So those who are limited to that Best Buy SKU, which they pulled, by the way, because they got the wrong batch, because they got the European plug instead of the North American plug, go figure, that is coming next week. And I should have one, I think, with 32 and a Core i9. So that should be pretty interesting. I got some other stuff as well coming. So a lot to go on here. So Banu from India is here. Good to see you. That's loading in. So while that's going on, just a little update for those who are joining us late. I did hit the 140,000 subscriber mark. I want to thank everybody for their support, because as I mentioned in part 1 of the stream, I couldn't have done it without you. So that is pretty good. Now, as far as the channel, again, we continue to grow. I can't ask for more. We got a lot of good stuff here. That's one of the reasons I wanted to do a live unboxing. Unfortunately, the internet's not great right now for me. But nonetheless, we'll soldier on through, and we'll see, hopefully, good results here. All right, and I think it may have had to do with not only my internet, but having to simultaneously stream not only on YouTube, but on Twitter. So this second part is not on Twitter. I didn't want to take any chances. And again, I'm looking at the bandwidth right now, not looking great. So I can tell you that right off the bat, but it's pushing through. So as long as we can have some decent performance here, we can definitely continue on. If not, we'll just have to reschedule it. Okay. Ahmed, yeah, I got a lot of stuff from Dell coming. I got stuff from HP. We got a lot from Lenovo. There's just too many to talk about right now. Audio is good and the video is getting better. Cheers from Canada. Thank God. All right. So thank God everything is looking better. But again, fingers crossed that things will hold up. All right. Here's the R15. Let's load it in here. And you know there's stuff working in the background, so keep that in mind. Okay. So let's accept that. Let's test the CPU. And again, we're looking at AMD Ryzen 7 7735HS. And it's got 8 cores, 16 threads. We've seen it before. And again, here's our good friend McAfee really screwing up our stream. Maybe it's McAfee who's doing this, right? Maybe it's John McAfee from the grave. Once again, effing up our live stream. Okay, so that's running. And again, I see already an update that needs to go through, so we'll see. And I don't know if it's on YouTube's part or it's on my internet or here at Cox in Las Vegas, which I'm not happy with, by the way. So we'll see who is it? Maybe it could be my internet, it could be YouTube, it could be a combo. Who knows? The 2022 models had overheating issues fixed in 2023. I don't know. We just unboxed it. We're running it for the first time. I don't know if it's going to overheat. How am I supposed to know? Until I test it, right? So OpenGL, not great, right? 115. Shouldn't that be a little bit higher? Again, I think there's things happening in the background. We'll have to double check that. CPU, let's run that. And I got to also make sure, I think we're on the performance mode. Hello again to True Army. Good to see you back on here. Part 2 here. Sorry those for having the technical difficulties. The internet's not cooperating. Okay, I'm sure we're going to get a higher score when I update everything here. So just bear with us. Let's move on to the next one. Let's save that. And let's make sure we are on the performance mode. Let me just double check. Best performance and then function Q. It's quiet. Battery saver performance. Okay, I got it on performance here. Okay. So let's go to downloads. Let's go to the Cinebench R20 real quick. I mean, it's a real downer when the internet's not working great. He has nothing else to do. And it really takes away a lot of the wind in your sails, takes a lot of the momentum away because it interrupts what we were doing. At least we got to look at the unboxing. So part one, I'll just leave it up. And this part two, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm back, Matthews. Thanks for coming back. We're running part two here, and I'm getting the Cinebench R20 ready. We may have to do an update on this because it's running a little bit slow, to be honest. There's an update all ready to go here, so we can talk in the meantime while this is loading in. Okay, good to see Brent C here. This is the problem when you do live. You're going to run into some issues. Internet issues is going to be one of them. I have no idea, Vaporizer Bobby. Your guess is as good as mine. Yeah. I have no idea if it said, did it really say Windows 8? That is funny. Well, you know, Windows 11 and 10, for that matter, I guess is based on Windows 8, right? Wasn't that originally based? I have no idea why that would say that. Maybe we should do a restart on this after we load this in. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. The stream is not looking terrific. I know that for sure. Okay. But hopefully when it replays, it'll be fine. And we lost about, 50 of you because we had about 75, 77 of you, almost 80 actually in the part one. And now we're down to 25. So take it for what it is. Most people didn't want to come back. I lost you with the internet. Can you do a Crystal Disk Mark speed test? I certainly can. Is this an AMD model? Yes. These are not. Is this Zen 4? No, this is not going to be Zen 4. I think it's based on Zen 3. Zen 4 will be later this year. Phoenix, right? If I'm not mistaken. And it's running a little bit slow. I'm going to restart this also because I see there's also an update there. So this is what happens when you do it live, right? I take a chance. I do take a chance. Looking good. The laptop physically looks good. Yeah, the Intel, obviously, these are much more efficient. The AMD models are much more efficient. Yeah, it seems like it's running a little slow right now. So it's doing something in the background. Let me, I'm going to do the update with you right here in real time. Does the display look yellowish? I don't think yellow to me. You can see it here. Does that look yellowish to you? I mean, maybe I should use this camera because that one's a cinema camera. Let's see. Maybe you can see there. Doesn't look yellowish to me. Okay, so let's stay on topic. I don't know. So this question is slightly off topic. Was the ThinkPad Z13 Gen 2 based on Zen 3 or Zen 4? I think it's Zen 3, but I couldn't be wrong. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I don't know. I hopefully will get one into the studio soon. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to restart this and run this update. It's going to take about 4 minutes, but let's do that. So we can get maybe better numbers here because I think that's it. Here, Vaporizer Bobby's going to let us know. If the CPU has a 7X, 4X, it is Zen 4. Phoenix, otherwise it will be Zen 3. We have Zen 3 here. So we have Zen 3. And it's fine. I have no issue with that. And, AMD is not going to be able to scale up like the Intel can. They just don't have the capacity. That's why these are hard to get. So if you want to look at this model, check out the link in the description below. It's Best Buy. Of course, they're an affiliate link. I do get a small commission if you go through that, but help support the channel. And if you're interested in the Slim Pro 7 with this AMD processor with the 90 hertz display, then might as well want to check it out. I'm getting more information in the description below. Okay, so that while these are running, let's take a look physically at this once again. So here you can see on this side, we have some ports. I showed it earlier. We have we'll leave it there, headphone jack, USB-A, and you also have your power port there, and you have your kill switch for the microphone or for the camera. And I can even show you here while this is doing that. Back for those, because we're in part 2. This is the right side. Again, these are the ports. Again, USB-A, 3.5 millimeter, headphone jack, microphone combo. You get your power port and then, or your power button, and then you get the kill switch for the webcam. And then on the left side, you get your HDMI, and then you have one of these. I believe this one may be the USB-C 4, and this one is USB 3.2 Gen 2. So USB 4, of course, is very similar to the Thunderbolt port. It gives you the same functionality as a Thunderbolt port, pretty much. So you can connect to docks and stuff like that, okay? All right, and then of course you have the reverse notch here. We have an IR camera. While that's loading all of its updates here, you have a reverse notch there. The camera is an IR, so you can log in with face recognition. Once this reloads, it's loading right now 30%, 88%. We'll take a look at the camera. We'll take a look at the speeds on the SSD, which is, by the way, user upgradable. The RAM, which is DDR5 RAM, is soldered in, right? So I don't believe that. Obviously, that's not going to be user upgradable. All right, so that's loading in. Let's take a look here. So it's welcoming me, Lenovo. So we're almost there. So hopefully we could rerun some. Let's rerun that Cinebench R15. I want to see if we get a better score here. And I'll change the name of that first one when we're done, that first live stream, to part 1. And then we'll call this part 2 because we had to restart the stream because of some technical difficulties with the internet, which seems to have stabilized somewhat. Is the successor to the Lenovo Sim Pro X with Ryzen 9? I don't know. I don't have the Pro X in just yet, so hopefully I'll be getting one. But whatever successor will be, it will be obviously the latest gen, I would imagine, right? So it would be the latest 7000 series, I would hope. But we'll see. All right, so this is loaded in. Let's close this. Let's rerun. Let me go back here to the downloads. And let's go to the Cinebench R15. I didn't like the score we got, so now that we are now reloaded, and again, function Q, let's make sure we're on the highest setting here, and let's make sure we're on best performance. We are. And then let me run this again because I was not happy with that test. Yeah, so far it's okay. Fingers crossed it'll continue on. We soldier on. True Army. All right, so this is running the OpenGL. This is going to test the graphics of the RTX 3050, so hopefully we'll get a little bit better performance than we saw earlier. I know that update was running in the background. There were things happening. So whatever result we get even here, again, I will have updated results in the upcoming full review in the recorded video, so stay tuned. Question from Brent C. Did Lenovo say whether this laptop would come with other AMD processor options like the 4000 series, Zen 4. I did not hear anything, Brent. The 2022 version, the AMD 6800 or the 6900. I only know what they sent me, and this is what it is. Yeah, the Pro X will be getting one hopefully very soon. And again, not great OpenGL score here on this 3050 because that's not that much higher. And again, 3050 is not going to blow you away, but it's not that much higher than the integrated Radeon or even the Iris Xe, right? So I'm not sure what's going on here. And again, it looks like stuff is happening in the background. You noticed it just coming in and out just now. So it looks like it's running stuff. So I'm not worried too much about it. We had a pretty nice score in terms of the Geekbench so far. So that is encouraging. But there's something going on here. And it says Windows 8. Again, I don't know. This could be the version of R15 that I'm using. So let me just take, and it got even a lower score. So something's happening in the background, folks. So just take that with a grain of salt. All right. So let me do that. And then let me just save that. And then let's test the SSD, because I know William had wanted to see that as well. So let me go here and let's go to the 64. And then we'll run the Cinebench R23, at least a multi-core, and we'll get an idea. And we'll take a look at the camera as well. Okay? So there's a few things we can do on this. Screen looks good. Screen looks good so far. The hinges are pretty decent. There's a little bit of screen wobble here when I tap it, but nothing too bad. And then let's see this score we'll get here. So let me close this window and let's run again, this is a Hynix 512 gigabyte SSD. So we'll run that right now. Seemed like the bandwidth seems to have resolved itself. Looks good from my end. Is the OLED still an issue as far as screen burn-in? I'm curious if you have experience. I have not. That's a good score, by the way, so far. Look at that. 7132 on the read. No burn-in. And this is, by the way, this is an IPS display. This is not OLED. So the screen compare against the ZenBook. We have the ZenBook here. We can take a look at it once we do get this done. Let me get that ready. Hold on. Okay, so let's bring this one in. Okay, this one's OLED. This one's a IPS. So, you know, OLED is got the deeper blacks. So we can probably run a video when we're done with this test here. You can get an idea of it. Again, both very glossy displays, both touchscreen displays. This one actually has pen support. And again, I showed in the video, we were able to use the pen. I don't know if it's this one. I don't think it's this one. No, this is not the one. I have it here somewhere. Oh, I think I left it over there. But this does have pen support. I showed it in the video. All right, I left in the other side of the studio. All right, so both these are very good. This is 120 hertz. This is 90 hertz as far as the display. This gets 100% sRGB, very close to 100% Adobe, almost 100% across the board. This one I haven't tested yet. I will do that obviously today at some point, not on the stream, but I'll test it off camera. But they claim 350 nits. This is a peak brightness of 550. Although I think that's with the HDR, you're going to get 550, but it is a pretty high brightness in terms of that display. How thin is the laptop compared to the 7X? This is pretty thin. And these are, by the way, are very similar in terms of their footprint. You can see them back here, Storm Gray, and then this one's a Storm Gray. What was this called? Inkwell Gray. So very, very interesting. Both go back 180 degrees. You can see it there. And both have pretty nice keyboards. I'm impressed with this keyboard on the Asus. This one has a pretty good keyboard. This one has a good keyboard. I like it. It's pretty good. And then if you're looking at them from top down, you know, I do have a light above me, but maybe if I go up a little bit, yeah, there we go. Try to get out of those lights. Again, a lot of studio lights here. You can see them side by side. And actually, I'm really impressed with this Asus. Again, some people were saying, I'm not looking at anything with 8 gigabytes. For those wondering, I do have an OLED model coming, the 14X OLED next week, supposedly from Asus, that has at least 16 or 32 option in terms of the RAM. And also has a discrete GPU option. Again, pretty much everything else is the same. This one, of course, has the RTX 3050. So a little bit of a graphics boost over the integrated solution on paper. But so far, I'm not seeing the great numbers. I think there's a lot of updates, drivers that need to be updated. Specs are here. Oz. For those joining us late, I'll just run the specs here real quick. We're looking at the Ryzen 7 7735HS. Once again, RTX 3050, 16 gigabytes of RAM soldered in, 512 of replaceable SSD that is upgradable, Wi-Fi 6E, and it only has Bluetooth 5.1 according to their specs. You're looking at 1.59 kilograms or 3.5 pounds. It's pretty thin, pretty light for what you're getting. Storm gray color. It's got stereo speakers, Dolby Atmos speakers, aluminum all metal build, and of course you got the USB 4 as well as the USB-C 3.2 Gen 2. And then again, for those wondering, there is a link to Best Buy in the description below, $1199.99 over at Best Buy. So for those wondering, that's how much and it is, and those are the specs. So pretty nice. Okay, been loving, and quite good to see One Bad Van. He's been loving his Lenovo 16-inch Slim 7 with the 6800HS with the Ryzen 7. Pretty much powerful machine. Pretty powerful machine. Yeah, it is. It is. We're getting good reads and writes here. Let me take a screenshot on this. So with that done, let's take a look at the camera. And again, for those wondering, I have the Asus ZenBook 14X OLED next to this, so we can get an idea a little bit between these two. I guess they would compete with each other, although this is 120 hertz OLED. This is an IPS 90 hertz. And by the way, let's take a look at the display settings to see if it's out of the box 90 hertz. That's a good question in my mind I meant to look at earlier. Here's the advanced. So right now it's 60. So let's put it to 90. Right now it's switching to 90 hertz. Let's keep those changes. And there you go. Okay, so RTX 3050, yeah. So the RTX 3050 is not going to be a powerhouse in terms of graphics performance when you compare it to higher end ones we've seen from NVIDIA, the RTX 4000 series we saw so far this year. But having that extra ability to boost up will help certainly in things like Photoshop, high-end video editing, like a little bit higher-end video editing. I don't know if it's going to be that great. We'll test it out, of course, in the full review. But so far, the multi-core and single-core is looking good. So we'll see. Now, let's test out. So we just did the SSD. Let's test out the camera. So let me load in the camera here. So this is going to be a full HD camera. And I will take it to you in a moment here. Let me just get this set up. Okay, so this is the camera. And you can see it here. Let's go to the settings. Let's go to video settings. It is 1080p. That's the highest, 30 frames per second. Looking okay. So this has a full HD resolution, 1920 by 1080. It's a 30 frames per second. And we'll test the microphones as far as the background noise suppression and all that, noise cancellation and all that, whatever is able to do. There is a kill switch on the panel there. Let me compare it to this Asus, which had a really nice camera, by the way. And I don't know if we get all the camera studio effects like we got on the Asus here. So if we go here, we can see it. It's hard to show it, but you can sort of see it a little bit brighter on this one. Again, I have a lot of lights here, so let me see if I turn off the lights, if that'll make a difference. Not really, because I have that big light behind me. But you can sort of get an idea, and I can show it in a comparison video, but you can sort of see it here. So a little bit interesting colors there. This looks pretty good, I think, right? Let me know. Let me know. This is a pretty good camera too, although maybe it's a little dirty. Let me see. Let me see here. Sometimes that does affect things. Yeah, a little bit better, I think. It's hard to, you can see my camera there. So here they are. So that's it, right? Those are the cameras. Pretty good, pretty good. I think they're both a little different in terms of the color science they're using, but pretty good nonetheless. Okay, and I showed a video. I showed an example of that in that upcoming in the video I already did with the Asus. Any plans to review the XPS 15 and 1720 with 13th gen? Drishal, I already did my first couple of videos on the XPS 15 9530. It's on my channel. Check it out. It's been out for a couple of weeks already. I do have the XPS 17 coming at some point. I don't have an exact date just yet. Okay. Lenovo seems better to me. It looked pretty good, I gotta say. They're doing a good job. Now it is an IR camera. Like I said, you can log in with face recognition with Windows Hello. Yeah, I thought both cameras are pretty good. I thought the Lenovo looked really good. And even the Asus did a good job. I thought they did a good job. Cameras have gotten really good, which makes it even more puzzling. Why didn't Dell update the XPS 15 9530 to have at least a full HD camera, especially on their $3,000 flagship device? I talked about it in that unboxing and first look review, as well as in that live unboxing I did. So a lot of people were leaving comments saying, well, why didn't they update it? What's the deal on that? So that was an issue there. So there you go. Yeah, no, the YouTube is broken, you know, Drishal. So no big deal. Just go over to my channel. It's a recent video and it's there. I did a live unboxing. I did a recorded video where it's a lot less time, of course. I mean, it's a shorter video, 15 minutes or so. So check it out. It got over 30,000 views on the unboxing video, the recorded one. And then on the live unboxing, I think I got 8,000 views. That's pretty good for a live. So that's pretty good. And according to One Bad Van, Dell definitely dropped the ball with their webcam this time around. No excuses in 2023. And I said it. I agree. One thing to find out, does it have a muck switch that would allow the NVIDIA to push its maximum set of channeling through? I don't believe this has a muck switch. Where would I, that would be in the Lenovo app, right? I don't think that has it, but we can look into it. You know, I don't know if it does. I don't think it does, but I would be surprised if it had a muck switch, but you never know. Let me take a look here. Again, I don't know if it would be here where I would see that. System updates, device, power. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I'd have to ask Lenovo, and maybe there's something you can tell me. It probably would have been part of the promotional thing they would have said it did, I would think. But I don't think it has it. But again, if I'm wrong, if somebody knows something I don't, let me know. But I don't think it has a muck switch. Maybe Asus, RD saying maybe Asus could be better in a dark environment. Asus is actually pretty good. If you look at the video I did on this, it looked really good. It's hard with my studio lights. Just keep that in mind. With very bright studio lights with the reflective displays, it's just almost impossible to get an accurate depiction here. Mux, I don't know if it does have it. Do you like glossy? I like matte displays. I've said that before, although there's something to be said about how vibrant these OLED displays in particular, as far as I'm concerned, with these glossy displays. But of course, you have to be in the right lighting condition to really take advantage of it. Vaporizer Bobby, normally this should be in the spec sheet. If it isn't, then you would have to search for it. No worries, I will find out myself. So again, I'll find out. I'll let everybody know in the upcoming video. So yeah, thank you. But yeah, my guess is on this, I don't expect to see a muck switch. I think that's more, you'd see that on a gaming laptop per se than you would on, say, a general purpose laptop like this, or an ultra portable or ultra light, or whatever you want to call it. Although it does have some pretty nice specs, I got to say that. Now, so we took a look at the camera here. Let's take a look at the Cinebench R23. I want to see how the multi-core will do. We'll get an idea of any fan noise and so forth. So let me go to my downloads here, and hopefully things will be settling down here on the stream. Looks like the bandwidth is recovered well here, so we'll see. Which keyboard trackpad is better, Asus or Lenovo? So far, I haven't used this enough. Very good on the Asus, and of course you have the numpad there feature, and of course you could dim it with this button here. I like it. It's good. It's not haptic. Neither one of these are haptic. This is a traditional diving board type. So let me yeah, so these are both diving board style. In other words, it's a physical mechanism here. It's not a haptic touchpad. There's no haptic engine, which I do prefer. Which one's better? I don't know. I'd have to do a little bit more testing on this since we just took it out of the box. So we'll see. All right, so the Cinebench R23, let's load that in. That's going to test the single and multi-core, and we'll do the multi-core. I don't know if we'll have time to do both because it does take about 10 minutes to do each. So we'll see how that's all going to run here. You can see it here. It's running in now. There it is. Okay. So yeah, it looks like things are really happening again. And there's McAfee once again. It's getting really, I mean, I should probably take that out, actually. I should probably really uninstall that. But, you know, we're not going to do that live here. Good to see Half Stream here. What's so cool, Half Stream? What's so cool? I think I am. So 45 of you on part 2, part 1. Let me go change that. Let me go back to my, I want to say that's called part 1. Let me change that here. I called it part 1. And this is going to be part 2. Let me change it. It's happening live. Part 2. Okay. So people don't get too confused. Why do we have the same video live stream going on? Well, we have part 1, which had some technical difficulties, and then we had part 2. I appreciate that, One Bad Van. And by the way, super stickers, super chats helps out support the channel. And we have memberships if you like. We're growing that as well. The number keypad and the trackpad. Yeah, oh, you like that? Yeah, of course I am. Yeah, that goes without saying. So he likes that. Let me move this over. I don't know why. It's getting a little screwed up. This, there we go. He's talking about this. Yeah, that's Asus does a good job with their screen pads, right? They call them the screen pads or whatever they're calling it. And then again, I like having the ability to make it lower or brighter depending on your needs. And it still works, by the way. The trackpad still works even with that on. You just have to press on it a little bit more forcefully to get it. Not a great, I don't think if you're going to crunch numbers on this, I don't think accountants would. It's nice to have in a pinch, but I don't think using it on a regular basis can replace an actual physical numpad, right? So I don't think that would work. All right. So I hear the fans on this. So let's get a measurement while it's doing that. Let's close this for now. Let's put this to the side here. So far, it's looking like, well, I'm talking, so it's not going to give us. Let me be quiet and we'll get a measurement. So I'm getting a reading about 35 decibels, not too bad. Probably got to remove this McAfee. I mean, look at this. It keeps coming back on. It just moved off. Yeah, this McAfee's got to come off. It's persistent. It's actually persistent, those pop-ups. And you know, I'm sure, you know, Lenovo's making money with their deal with McAfee, but it really is annoying, to be honest, especially when I'm trying to do a live stream. How dare they? How dare they when I'm doing a live stream? So William does agree with the numpad, and I think, right, you're not going to want to use that on a regular basis. It doesn't replace a numpad. No, I mean, and call it gimmicky, call it whatever you want, but it's not going to be the best for that. That's for sure. So I'm going to bring out my thermal imaging camera now, and I want to see if this is going to get really hot. Now, I'll show you the results. Obviously, it'll be easier for me to show you in the video, but maybe we can take a different angle here. So I use the FLIR here, and you can see it. Let me go here. You can see this FLIR add-on to my Fold 4. Let me get that set up. I want to see how the thermal performance is here as far as the surface temperatures, and we can move to this camera here, and you can sort of see what I'm doing. can see it here. Okay, let me turn this. Let me turn this like this, and then. Okay. I didn't see too many problems as far as hotspots. Yeah, and this will all be in the video. So you could see a little bit. You can see a little bit by the print screen button over there, right below the keyboard. That's where the exhaust is coming out a little bit. And you can see it's actually, you can't see it, but it's doing things in the background. So whatever result we're going to get is not going to be 100% on this. Just keep that in mind. So again, there's a little bit right below the keyboard. Okay, so I have the results here. So not bad. I didn't see any hotspots. I'll show you obviously you'll see the results in the upcoming review video that I'm going to do on this. So you'll have that all there. Oh, we got a super chat from Halfstream. Nice. First one of the day. Nice to see that. Thank you so much. Towards McAfee. Yeah. You got to remove that. I agree. I appreciate the support, my friend. Thank you once again. And for those joining us late, I did reach a milestone yesterday. We got to 140,000 subscribers. So very, 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 very humbling experience. But hitting that milestone means a lot to me. Thank you, everyone. Vaporizer, Bobby, Andrew, and I saw you typing in some code in your watch. You might want to change it after the stream. No, don't worry about that. That means nothing. They cannot get anything with that. So they cannot do anything with that. Okay. But I appreciate you being worried. I sent a super sticker earlier. Oh, you did? Let me go back. For some reason, I didn't. Did you send it in the first one? Well, I'm sure it was in the first one, so I don't see it here. But let's acknowledge One Bad Van with the super sticker. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've had, this was not a great stream as far as the internet cooperating, that's for sure. I appreciate that, OJ. I appreciate that. All right, so this is still going on. You underestimate my power. Okay. Five minutes ago. Oh, there it is. I finally got it. Okay, now I got it. Thank you. Let's everybody give it up for One Bad Van. 399 Canadian. All right. Hands right. All right. I appreciate that. Sorry I didn't see it earlier. I didn't show up to me till now. Yeah, things are happening on this, by the way. Look at this. See, it's coming in and out. See that? That means it's updating in the background. Something's happening. And McAfee keeps popping up. But I hear definitely fans are going right now. What did William say about the TV? What is this? So this live stream is like a TV series on the streaming channel Netflix, except where the programs have multiple episodes. Yes, that's right. But I'm more engaging. All right, I'm more engaging. All right. I feel like I missed crapping on McAfee as much as being crapped on. Yeah, we got to remove that. Let's get the results here, and I'll take off McAfee, which of course will require a restart, and all this crap, because they don't make it easy. They certainly don't make it easy to take that off. So, all right, we got our result. Not bad at all. So 12,727, pretty nice. Good multi-core score. And what the Cinebench multi-core on the Cinebench R23 takes into account, this is a heavy sustained workload test, so we'll count for any kind of throttling. We'll do the CPU in the upcoming video. I don't think we're going to have time. But what I did want to do is open this up, right? So let's shut this down. And let's... here, the fans are really going. Let me shut it down. And let's bring out our iFixit toolkit. All right, so that's shut down. Let's unplug it. Hopefully, this will be an easy process. It looks like it's Torx screws. And for those wondering, you can see it's like almost like rounded on the bottom here to account for some more of these higher end specs. So pretty interesting. All right, let's get this over here, and let me get my Torx screw out. Torx bit here. Let's see, I think it's this one. We'll try this. Okay, let's see what we got here. So let's see, hopefully this will be a smooth process. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I can at least see that are outward here, outward facing. I don't want to strip that one. Hopefully the others won't give me any issues. Try this one. Yeah, this one's better. Never force anything because you might strip the screws. Now let's hope there's nothing underneath this strip here. That would suck. Okay, let's take our pry tool here. Let's see how we're going to get this started. Hopefully this is easy so far. Looking okay. That was pretty easy. That didn't take much effort. That's good. Yeah, True Army, you know what happened with the last time we had that, right? Okay. Okay, we got 2 fans. That's good. All right, nice to see that. We got an SSD right here. Looks like it's a shorter SSD, right? Doesn't that look short to you? It's one of those smaller ones. I think it's 20. Is that 2280? In fact, let me bring up the specs for a moment because it does say it. So as far as the SSD, it's a 2280 SSD here. It just looks small to me, right? So anyway, this is the SSD. Upgradable Wi-Fi Bluetooth card right there. That's good to see. And the RAM is soldered in, so I don't need to remove that. I already know that it's soldered in. So let's get a closer look. Excuse me. Let's get a closer look here. And I'll use this shot in the video. Okay. You could also see the 70, is it a 75 watt hour battery? Let me just check here real quick. 73 watt hour battery. And by the way, a rapid express charge, 3 hours in a 15-minute charge. Gives you 3 hours of runtime. Not too bad. We'll definitely replace that. We'll definitely test that. I replaced mine with an Intel AX210, way faster. Okay, that's good to know. And I like, again, having the ability to swap that out is definitely an advantage. That's for sure. Okay. All right, so that's it. You can get a look at it over here. Here you go. There's a different look at it. And pretty clean, pretty nice. AMD processor-based unit here. Pretty good, pretty good. All right, so let me put it back on. So far, pretty impressive stuff here. And I tend to find that these AMD Ryzen-based processors run a lot cooler and a lot more efficient than the Intel-based units that we've been getting, especially 12th gen and even 13th gen here. So they do a good job with the cooling, and I noticed better battery life as well. So you got double benefit there. All right, let me screw these back on. Okay. Not too bad. Pretty easy to take off the bottom lid. Again, I had to break up the live stream because of the fact that we had some internet issues and we had to restart it. So part 1 is the actual unboxing. Part 2 is where we do some more benchmarks until, you know, we had to restart it. So thank you for everybody who showed up the second time. I know we had a pretty good turnout in the first part, and the second part actually rebounded pretty nicely. So I want to thank everybody for, again, coming by and checking this out. And again, of course, I will have an edited down version of the unboxing plus some additional benchmarks before I get to the real testing for the final review, full review, which will give you all the battery numbers. We'll test the audio, we'll test the display metrics, everything, of course, that we need to do to make sure that we're all up to date as to what this laptop can offer, and if not, and to give you an ability to make a good purchase decision. And again, speaking of purchase, there is a link to Best Buy in the description below. For those interested in the Best Buy link is an affiliate link, so you help out the channel, and you're going to get a pretty nice laptop. So far, looking pretty good. And fingerprints haven't been as bad as I thought it was going to be. So far, looking pretty decent. Please compare the keyboard to the ThinkPad X1. Yeah, we're going to have a lot more coming on this, Drishal. One Bad Van says, a big plus over the Asus having the dual fans. Yeah, that was the other thing. But keep in mind on that particular unit, didn't have any kind of discrete GPU. It had integrated Iris Xe graphics. But I do have one coming next week. I'm curious to see how the internals of that. Hopefully there'll be a second fan to help with the cooling, especially with the discrete GPU option. It might even be the same 3050 that we have in here. Again, not the most powerful GPU, but it's definitely something to help enhance some video editing, Photoshop, maybe a little gaming on this, and so forth. We'll have more on that very soon. All right, and anything else, people, before we call it a day? Is there anything else I needed to check? But I think we're going to leave it for the video. We're going to have a lot more on this. But I want to thank everybody you've done a really good job here. We're almost at an hour on part 2. Again, part 1, I'm keeping it up. We had some technical difficulties, but that was the unboxing part. Part 2, we did some more benchmarks. I have more to come. I'll do the 3D Mark. I'll do PC Mark 10 tests, various tests. We'll do the stress tests. We'll do everything. We're going to get all the numbers. All right, so I want to hit the music here. Good job, moderators. Thank you for keeping everything going. William, great. And I thank you once again. Again, we hit 140,000 subscribers. I want to thank everybody for that. Can't thank you enough. I'm glad Pac-Man found the channel, and all of you who stopped by. I have a lot more to come. We're going to be a lot more frequent, especially since we have all these devices coming in fast and furious. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure the notification bell is checked off, and make sure you are keeping alert on social media, especially Twitter, of when I do post and stuff. So take care, everybody. I'll see you in the next video, and have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks for bearing with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.